Welcome to the Narrative Network, your go-to channel for exploring the rich and intricate histories within the world of Westeros and beyond. Today, we dive deep into the Blackfyre Rebellions, a series of epic conflicts that shaped the Targaryen dynasty long before the events of Game of Thrones. The Blackfyre Rebellions, occurring well before the events depicted in Game of Thrones, were a series of conflicts that began with Daemon Blackfyre's claim to the Iron Throne. This claim was rooted in the actions of his father, King Aegon IV Targaryen, who legitimized all his bastards on his deathbed, including Daemon. Daemon believed that receiving the ancestral Targaryen sword Blackfyre further proved his legitimacy, although this view was not widely accepted. The First Blackfyre Rebellion. The First Blackfyre Rebellion was the largest and most significant of these conflicts, creating a deep divide within the realm. Most of the great houses remained loyal to the Targaryens, while many lesser houses, harbouring long-standing resentments, supported House Blackfyre. The rebellion was sparked when news of Daemon's claim reached King Daeron's court, largely through the efforts of Brynden Bloodraven Rivers, another of Aegon IV's bastards and a staunch Targaryen loyalist. The Kingsguard was dispatched to arrest Daemon, but he managed to escape. Daemon's supporters used this attempted arrest as a pretext to wage war, claiming it was baseless and unjust. The conflict saw numerous battles across the Vale, the Westerlands, the Riverlands and other regions. The climactic Battle of the Redgrass Field was pivotal. Daemon's forces were within striking distance of King's Landing, with the Loyalist forces under great peril due to the delayed arrival of House Tyrell's troops. The Loyalist forces, commanded by Maekar I Targaryen and Lord Hayford, the King's Hand, faced near defeat until reinforcements led by Gwaine Corbray of the Kingsguard arrived. Corbray engaged Daemon in a protracted duel, nearly an hour long, which ended with Corbray wounded. During this time, Bloodraven positioned himself atop the Weeping Ridge with his archers, known as the Raven's Teeth, allowing them a strategic vantage point over the battlefield. Bloodraven's archers killed Daemon and his twin sons, Aegon and Aemon. Despite Bittersteel's efforts to rally the fleeing rebels, they were crushed by the Loyalist forces, including Baelor Targaryen's spearmen. Bittersteel managed to escape, taking Blackfyre with him to the Free Cities, accompanied by Daemon's remaining sons. The Second Blackfyre Rebellion. The Second Blackfyre Rebellion was less a full-scale war and more a failed conspiracy that ended with a whimper. The plot centred around the wedding of Ambrose Butterwell to one of Lord Frey's daughters. Many of Blackfyre's allies, having lost lands and titles after the First Rebellion, and having suffered further during the Great Spring Sickness, sought to regroup and plot against Bloodraven, who was then Hand of the King. Tommen Heddle and Gorman Peake convinced Butterwell to offer a dragon egg as the prize in the wedding tourney, rigged to favour Daemon II Blackfyre, who attended in disguise as a hedge knight named John the Fiddler. Believing the dragon egg was a sign of victory, Daemon II participated in the tourney. However, the plan unravelled when Gorman Peake falsely reported the egg had been stolen and framed Glendon Flowers. Duncan the Tall intervened, killing Tomard and helping Glendon fight Daemon in a trial by combat, which Glendon won. Bloodraven arrived shortly after with a large force, including members of the Kingsguard, Raven's Teeth archers, knights and men-at-arms. Daemon II's calls for support were ignored, leading to his imprisonment and eventual starvation. Gorman Peake was executed, Whitewall's Butterwell's castle was destroyed, and Butterwell himself was stripped of his lands and titles, but spared. The Third Blackfyre Rebellion. The Third Blackfyre Rebellion saw Bittersteel crown Haegon, Daemon's fourth son, and launch another invasion. This invasion was met by Prince Maekar, King Aerys I's brother, and Maekar's sons Aerion and Aegon. The ensuing battle featured another duel between Bittersteel and Bloodraven, with Bittersteel defeated once more. Despite Haegon surrendering, he was executed by Bloodraven. Rather than executing Bittersteel, King Aerys sent him to the Night's Watch, which only fueled further conflict as Bittersteel escaped and continued his efforts from Essos. The Fourth Blackfyre Rebellion. The Fourth Blackfyre Rebellion was initiated by Blackfyre, Daemon's fifth son, who attempted to claim the throne. His execution on Bloodraven's orders during the Great Council of 233 AC incited Daemon III Blackfyre to seek revenge. Delayed by a prolonged winter, Daemon III eventually crossed the narrow sea with the Golden Company and landed at Mass's Hook in the Crown Lands. King Aegon V, along with his three sons, rode out to confront the rebels. With significantly diminished support, the rebellion was predictably short-lived. At the Battle of Wendwater Bridge, Daemon III was killed by Duncan the Tall, and Bittersteel once again retreated to Essos, where he died in exile a few years later. The War of the Ninepenny Kings. Initially successful, the Band of Nine conquered the disputed lands, secured Tyrosh, and took control of the Stepstones, setting the stage to invade the Seven Kingdoms. However, the Targaryen forces, bolstered by a large fleet and numerous troops, including knights and men-at-arms, thwarted their plans. Notably, Brynden Tully and Barristan Selmy fought valiantly, with Selmy killing Mylis the Monstrous. This decisive action finally put an end to the Blackfyre Rebellions, cementing the Targaryen hold on the Iron Throne and ending the Blackfyre threat once and for all. Thank you for joining us on the Narrative Network as we explored the intricate history of the Blackfyre Rebellions. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the rich lore of Westeros and beyond. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep up with our latest content. Until next time, keep the stories alive.